The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings 2021 U.S. Open picks, preview, bets, and the one and done. You want to help out the show? Smash the like button to the episode. Give me your winner in the comment section. And don't be scared now, people, to subscribe to Mayo Media Network on YouTube. Do you want to get into draws worth up to, I don't know, $1,000? There's a bunch of ways to do so. First of all, just subscribe to the newsletter that is in the description of the podcast and video right now. It's a free newsletter. It's going to be coming out on Monday and Wednesday evening. You can find full details in that, but really what it boils down to is leave a 5-star rating and review on the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. Leave your Twitter handle and or email address, and you're in a draw to win some of those bucks. I'll also be doing a huge Twitter giveaway on Tuesday afternoon with $500 worth of Millionaire Maker tickets on DraftKings for you out there. You'll find the details included in the tweet. So at the PME on Twitter if you want to check it out. All of Fantasy National has been decreased by 20% if you use fantasynational.com/Mayo. If you go check out my research show from Sunday, or even the DraftKings Millionaire Maker pick show up on Mayo Media Network right now from Saturday, you'll see me walking through Fantasy National. It's where I get all of my stats. It's all the tools, everything you need. And I do want to give a special shout out to a new sponsor on the Pat Mayo Experience, and something that I think you guys are really going to enjoy if you live in Colorado, at least. So the Pat Mayo Experience is brought to you by X Golf Colorado. With 3 locations in Colorado, X Golf provides the most accurate, fun way to play golf at any time of the day, any time of the year, all inside. That's something where I live that I could really go for. Play one of 45 different courses, including Pebble Beach, Oakmont, Kapalua, Bay Hill, PGA National, and more. You can play for fun, or you can play in a league or in a tournament. And if you ever just want an awesome place to sit back and enjoy the final round at Torrey Pines this week, well, maybe playing Pebble Beach at the same time, make your reservation now for Sunday with the most accurate simulators on the market. And equipped with a full bar and food options available, you never need to wait for the cart person to come around. Enjoy the new age of watching pros while attempting to beat the pros. Book your tee time using the code MAYO, M-A-Y-O, in the comment section at the checkout and receive a free hour of golf after you purchase an hour. So 2 hours for the price of 1 with code MAYO. This offer is only good at participating locations, which include X Golf Fort Collins, X Golf DTC, and X Golf Grand Junction. X Golf, play, train, entertain. Highly recommend you go and check out X Golf. I love playing on simulators, especially because, I love to go outside at the same time, but during the winter times up in Canada, not the easiest way to go. Simulators are where you want to be. Geoff Fienberg is on the line, tweeting out early on a Monday morning that he can't lose at the U.S. Open. That's a high bar to set up to.
Listen, if no one else is I've gotten a lot of followers this morning. It was good for my, SEO. That's good. I'm not going to win this event. It's hard, but I've kept it simple. I've been really lucky. I've been luckier than good. But the only things I remember are the sad moments. Like DJ losing at Chambers Bay still hurts more than my immaculate record in this tournament. Like, that was a low point. That was a West Coast U.S. Open. I didn't have kids yet. My wife was away at a friend's cottage. She came home late on a Sunday night, and she must have walked in the house like 90 seconds after the 3-putt. I was like face planted on my floor, like you could make a sketch out of me, like dead. It reminded her of, geez, I don't want to give anyone credit who might be showing up any moment now. There was a Chargers-Jets playoff game. There were a few of them. But there was one I was particularly excited for. It was supposed to be a special season. And Rex and those guys punched us in the mouth. And my friends had to get me home. Probably had to pull over so I didn't throw up in the back of cars. But I didn't make it inside my house. They just dropped me off outside my house. They didn't they didn't see that I got in. I'm not like an 8-year-old boy. The parent, you got to see the mom wave at the door. And then my girlfriend, now wife at the time, came over to check up on me because she knew that was probably a rough night. And she found me and my broken glasses in the driveway, like just out. So I don't know. I just remember the low points. Yeah. Here he is. But no, I don't know. I've had a real good record in this tournament. Here's the difference, Pat. All those picks, like I had them, like weeks out, be it futures or on my mind. This was the guy. Dustin at Oakmont, like I called for a year. And Brooks's first one, like a month before, I told his dad on Twitter, you can search for the tweet, you're going to have a great Father's Day. And, Gary was great. We had a big future, like huge, over like mid triple digits. And Bryson, we were backed hard. Like, no, we're not worried about anything. We'll play the ceiling. But I got no vibe. I don't know who I want at the top. You could randomly tell me which player, like literally take any of those 5 or 6 guys, put them in like a bingo ball and spit me out a name. I don't know. So I'm here to talk through it with you. But if I don't know. I got to pat myself on the back as I sort of was looking through my own US Open notes. Holy jeez.
Well, I'm giving you a special shout out for your record at the U.S. Open, even when you got that pinata pick on Martin Keimer in 2014
Woo!
at 80-1. Where if people don't know what pinata is, I think it was Sports Interaction that was doing it at the time.
They still do.
It was basically like a lotto that any golfer that came up, you got them at 80-1. And Geoff spun the wheel and it gave him Martin Keimer at 80-1, and then Martin Keimer won.
I think he was like 70-1 on the real line. But I did a couple and I got like a straight amateur you never heard of. You do it with the hopes of like landing DJ at 80. Like there's a chance. It's like breaking a box of cards, I guess. Like you're trying to pull the big one. I'm having fun. I'm fired up. I was rattled a few minutes ago. I'm in a good place right now. Let's go.
Yeah, if people want to see how rattled Geoff was, just stay tuned after the credits of this show as we were recording the entire time.
I knew it.
It was good
Did
stuff.
it to me too.
We do it to you every show, Tim.
Yeah, whatever. You know what? I'm giving nothing air. So I'm not even going to put air in the tires of what I want to say because it would only backfire. Do what you got to do. It's fine. I had trouble setting up a mic, but now my audio's perfect. So thank you.
When you speak directly into the mic, it sounds perfect. But I'm going to put some air into other people's tires, including myself. Huge week on DraftKings. Thank you, Garrick Higo, for coming through. Would have been better if my guy, Bo Van Pelt, would have ended up coming through because then I would have won all the bucks. But fortunately, members of the Pat Mayo Experience viewership and listenership won all the bucks themselves, and members of fantasynational.com, fantasynational.com/Mayo for a 20% discount. We got the Danimal. He won $50K. Paul Horton, one of the oldest viewers of the Pat Mayo Experience, back when it was the Pat Mayo Hour, he won $20K. Nick Thompson, $2K. Bones Golf won $10K. Let's see here. Irish Mick, $5,000. Tybo, $2,000. Richard Bertelson, $1,000. Kevin Burnhill won $8,000. In the big one of the week, the Cash Bros, first tweet since 2016, and it was to say that thanks to Bo Van Pelt and the rest of his roster, obviously, he won $200,000. So congratulations. That's fucking life-changing money. So congratulations to everyone out there who won. I mean, that's one $20K win, one $50K win, one $200,000K win. We got millions of dollars up for grabs this week at the U.S. Open. Geoff, we're running hot. There's only one thing that can derail us after an awesome last 3 weeks, and his name, Tim Andercust.
Tim Andercust.
That's not my name. And no, there's nothing I'm going to derail, although I appreciate you bringing me on the show. Some people bring on guests to inveigh against me on their show without inviting me to respond. So I'm happy to have the opportunity to respond to whatever accusations I assume.
I only brought compliments. I thought I defended you nicely. Like
you sat there and laughed and snickered while the attacks and the broadsides continued.
I've only given you credit. I've
the way,
only given you credit for your heater. I
which, by
really
the way,
have. So
is fine. That was funny. That was actually one of the funniest shows of yours I've ever watched. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I am looking forward to this U.S. Open. It's my favorite tournament of the year. It's the best golf tournament of the year. It's the truest test of golf when it's at a real U.S. Open course, and it is this week. I'm very excited.
So the reason that we bring you on, if people are new to the major shows, is that Tim has a propensity to pick the losers of the golf tournament. So we need to figure out who he's picking and then figure out who he says can't win and then adjust our picks. This needs to be an optimal part of your process in researching the week. So Tim, who are the big three for you this time around?
So my big pick and my winner and my one and done pick is Dustin Johnson. I expect DJ to overwhelm this place. He played good golf last week. He's hitting his stride. I like Dustin this week. He's my pick to win. In second place, I'm backing Tony Finau. California kid. And of course, I think he can do well at. Tony Finau is pick number 2. Dude. And then my third pick is Stuart Sink. The guy has power. He has accuracy. You say, oh, well, he's 125 to 1. Well, that's half of what the last major champion's odds were. So in some ways, you're getting a short number. Stuart Sink is playing like rejuvenated golf, and I'm picking Stuart Sink as my third pick at the U.S. Open.
Jeff?
I have a lot to unpack here. For starters, I even on the show on the middle of Friday or something, Pat, or Wednesday night, I said, I don't know how I'm not just playing the Tim Anderson reverse curse card of Higo in English at the Palmetto. Like, anyhow, Tim, stay away from Finau. You're already on him. And the thing that I can't get over is you just defended your Stuart Sink pick by saying he's half the price of Phil Mickelson.
Well, I'm being a little trolly when I say that. But to say that someone can see 125 to 1 and could win a major, that's too long. I think I've always thought that that's a foolish position. And I mean, the last 2 major winners were not short by any means. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. And I know the position is that the winner definitely is going to come from the top of the card. And that often does happen at U.S. Opens, although Gary wasn't. But that's often right. And I support that decision. And DJ is my pick for that reason. But I think you can absolutely mine value at a track like this from the deeper levels if you're willing to plumb them.
I like your top 2 picks. I have one of the only bets I have at the moment is a 40 on Finau. He doesn't need any of your juju, but maybe if there's any time for you to step on it, maybe.
Now, look, I've had some bad luck with picks recently. I've been picking hockey picks and I picked the PGA picks and I just kept getting them wrong. I don't know why, but it just kept happening.
Now you're on a heater. Don't worry about it.
Like, I expect the Canadiens to get swept by Las Vegas in this next round.
I guess my only question from is I like the DJ pick. He could have picked anybody. Like, what separated DJ for you from the other guys up there?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I think Rahm's got no shot. He's a write-off. Not only are his odds super short, not only is he unbettable at his odds, he's also unbettable in general. The fellow's coming off of COVID-19. I think you are off. If you did that roulette wheel and got him at 80 to 1, sure, then you've got a nice ticket on Jon Rahm. At 10 to 1, you might as well take that money and throw it into the fire because it's just as well spent. I don't know, just DJ's then the second shortest. He's got the power. He's got the gracefulness. He won the Masters 6 months ago. He looked really good last week.
No, hold on a second. He's the number 1 player in the world, and he essentially went to the Bermuda Classic in terms of field strength and came in like 11th.
That's fine. That's all I needed to see. I needed to see him play well. I didn't see him win. In fact, I kind of preferred he didn't win because I was going to pick him this week at the U.S. Open. I don't know. I think Torrey sets up as a good track for him, and I'm going to take him. And I think that when I still stand by the position that when he is playing his best, he is the best golfer in the world. And I would take DJ in one tournament to save my life over anybody else if you're telling me he's going to play his best. And so I'm rolling with him here.
All right, so who are the players, this is really the essential part, besides Jon Rahm, apparently, who have no chance of winning?
No, just none. Corey Connors played really good in the last 2 majors. People are all about Corey Connors right now. Sweep him. Goodbye. He won't be there on the weekend. You can say goodbye to him. Streelman, same way. I feel like as someone who's been the biggest fan of Kevin Streelman for a while, I just think he played over his head at the Ocean Course, and I expect him to be nowhere near contention. Those are the two guys I think for sure. Oh, and Phil. Phil's got no shot here. I know Phil is a California kid. I know that this is sort of a home track for Phil in a lot of ways. But let's be honest. He put together 4 of the most magical days in the history of the sport in order to win that championship by a couple strokes. That's not coming again. You know, that doesn't happen twice. So I know this is the course that is, the tournament that has bugged Phil his whole career. This maybe put a flicker of new life into him by winning the PGA Championship. But let us face the facts squarely. He's not going to make the weekend.
Who did you say before Streelman?
Corey Connors.
I said Corey Connors.
I feel like all 3 of those, I don't really know what to make of your ROM. Like, I get, like, from the betting, the straight betting, you don't want to bet a guy 10, 11 to 1. A's never won a major. You can make what you want of the emotional highs and lows of the
Also coming off
last.
a serious disease.
Yeah. And all that. Like, that makes sense. But you're, like, claiming you can't win. I don't think there's, like, I don't think that one you're trying to reverse curse. I just think that's you. But I think your other 3 picks are all of reverse curse attempts.
No, they're not. I don't do that. I'm telling you.
You do that. What happened to when we first talked
you just
about
did
this?
It with the Habs.
Well, yeah, and when we first talked about this, you said that Rory had no chance to win and Xander had no chance to win. Have you moved off of that stance?
Oh, you're right. I did say that. No, I do stand by that. I think the people who are putting air in Xander's tires because he's from California has played well. Xander hasn't won a big tournament yet. Again, the next big one he wins will be the first one he wins.
I mean, he's won a WGC, he's won the Tournament of Champions, and he's won the Tour Championship.
Yeah, those are the minor leagues of tournaments compared to a major. They're not comparable, and I think it's unjust to compare them.
Well,
they're nice.
All I'm saying to you is that you said he's never won a big tournament, and when you could have just said he's never won a major. That's what you mean.
There were a big tournament. I mean, there are 4 majors, and then there's the Players. Those are the big tournaments. Everything else is sort of like, whatever.
Then why don't you just say major?
I said what I said, and I stand by what I said. Now, we move on to Rory. I'm glad you brought up Rory, because it's true. I don't think Rory has much of a crack here at all. He's just, other than that one win, I haven't liked his form. I don't like the sort of demeanor that he has on the course. I think this place is too tough for him. I don't think he can win at this course. I don't think he's able to overpower it in a way that Bryson playing great. Bryson can obviously overpower it. I think the thing about Rory is when he gets anxious, he misses his drives to the left. And if you miss your drives to the left, a place like this, you cannot recover. You cannot win. And therefore, that's why I think Rory's a bad bet here.
All right. Do you have any parting thoughts for the people? Any bets? Like no hole in one. That's always a favorite of yours. Are you going with that again?
Not only am I going with it, I am so excited. We're getting plus money to bet no here. Now, I looked it up because I do research for the people. I said, okay, so what happened in February at Torrey Pines? And I saw, oh goodness, there were 2 holes in one, but they were both by Richie Wierenski, who's not in this field. So the holes in one are both used up already from February, and the sharpshooter who's got the skill to dunk them here isn't in the draw. So the fact that you're getting plus 110, drive that truck to the bank. You're going to win that bet. Take the no holes in one bet at the U.S. Open. Also, there was a couple other ones that I liked. Golfer by categories. For top Canadian, Mac Hughes at plus 425 is going to come in. Bet that. I like it quite a bit.
Oh, I actually have made a bet on that as well. I bet Taylor Pendrith at plus 650.
I don't know who that is.
I'm going to join you on that, Pat. I'm about that one.
If he's good, it's all the stuff I will see on Thursday on SportsCenter. But if he's not good, then I won't see a single shot of it. I still probably will.
Sports Santa.
Also, top left-handed golfer. I love Bobby Mack to win that number.
More than Higo?
More than Higo. I just love Higo in general. But now that he just won a tournament, like, let's be a little bit. I mean, as much as he should be, he shouldn't be second or third. He should not be first. The idea that he's ahead of Phil to finish higher. I mean, even though I don't think Phil's got a chance this week, Phil just won the PGA Championship. Like, I think the odds in that category seem wrong, and I
Hideki
can't
played
know
great.
why they're wrong, but I just feel like Bobby Mack's as good as any of those guys, and you're getting the longest odds on him. So let's roll with it.
I actually like that one.
Yeah, I do too. But Hideki played great at the PGA after winning the Masters.
He did, and then he didn't, right? Like, we didn't think he'd fall apart on that Saturday, and he ejected somehow.
I mean, he had a huge triple. It kind of just
that was just that was a tough track conditionally to keep it together for 4 rounds for anybody. I mean, even Phil didn't break par on Sunday. Like, that's a different type of tough. I don't expect the weather to come huge into play here, even though it's on the coast, it's on the Pacific. Those tend not to be as affected by weather.
What about that? What about that time that Brant Snedeker posted a 69 at this course during the Farmers, and then the wind was so bad that the average score was 79 for the day, and then he won.
I mean, the Farmers is also in February in a cold period of time, not in the summer. So can it happen? I suppose so. I think it's quite unlikely. But this is just a matter of how much does the USGA want to play with the players? Do they want to make it fair? Or do they want to make it impossible? And I can't answer that question because they can't figure it out week to week round around themselves, because the USGA, as we know, don't know how to set up a golf course very well. So what they do, I don't know.
All right. Anything else before we let you get out of here?
I mean, I've always got stuff, but I will hold it on that and wish everybody an enjoyable US Open week. And also whatever Las Vegas is in the semifinals, you should bet them because they're going to win pretty comfortably.
Minus 500. Good tip.
Is that all?
We will be back with Cust on Friday evening for the Cut Sweat Show, so tune into that. And if you're missing even more Cust, there is a new Cust Corner up right now on Mayo Media Network, Cust Corner 33. Thank you for being on the line, Tim Andercust.
Tim Andercust.
That's not my name. You're welcome. And that's why now people are saying Geoff is minus money to win Most Insane.
The man who was triggered about a Pringles mascot is calling me insane.
I don't want to talk about this. I've got it on my list for the next corner.
I'm just saying, there are things that upset me. I get over it. I'm a passionate sports fan. I acknowledge I might be a little insane. You are here triggered about Pringles mascots, claiming you're not insane at all. People can make of it what they want.
First, he has a name. It's Julius Pringle. Secondly, you're the one who told the story being laying on the sidewalk after a Chargers loss with broken glasses.
Yeah, it was wasted. I took it hard. You cried week 1.
All right, now that the nonsense is out of the way, let's get to the favorites at the 2021 U.S. Open to see who we are betting. Going to the top of the board, Geoff, Jon Rahm coming back from COVID-19. He's the favorite on DraftKings Sportsbook, 10-1. Bryson's 14-1. Dustin is 14-1. Xander, 14-1. Brooks and Spieth, both 18-1. Then you have Cantlay, Finau, and Rory are all 20-1. Then you have Patrick Reed and Justin Thomas at 22-1. And then lingering just a level below, you have Morikawa at 25 and Hovland at 28-1. I have some takes from the top of the board here, although Tim just terrified me, saying that both Rory and Xander can't win. And it's especially the Jon Rahm thing. Look, if Jon Rahm wins, he's the favorite for a reason. Then I'm going to have to eat all the money and flush it down the toilet, because I'm not betting Jon Rahm at 5 points better than everyone else who I think is in a category exactly the same as him. So just write him off. Tim is picking Dustin. Let's write him off. I bet Brooks, and I got him at 19-1. I think that's the best number that you're going to find. 18-1, 19-1. I'm in on Brooks. So I loved what I saw from him at Palmetto. Him missing the cut actually helped his number. He couldn't chip. He couldn't putt. The driving was immaculate. The irons, even better. That's all I want to see for Brooks going into a U.S. Open. So I'm good with Brooks. I'm in on Brooks. That leaves the choice to me right now, at least in my mind, between Bryson and Rory. Rory has the better number. I have more faith in Bryson, but I think that it's close. Those would be the 3 guys that I have the most interest in. Brooks the most, and then it's kind of a tie between Bryson and Rory. The only thing that really differentiates them is, like I said, that Bryson I feel a bit more comfortable with in terms of him actually winning, but Rory you get for 4 or 5 points better. What do you think?
Okay, very similar go-tos. Probably would have it ordered differently. I haven't made a bet yet, though, in this range. Although I don't know who the white whale that turned Finau to 20 at DraftKings Sportsbook. The bet that I do have is Finau at a 40 from a few weeks ago. We'll talk about that in a bit. Like you said, you could like pretty much tell me who to take at the top of this board. Not even you, like a random generated thing. That's my bet. And I would kind of feel okay. That being said, there are a couple that I'm not really interested in. It would be Spieth, despite some amazing POA statistics, Pat. I don't care. Like at a US Open, it's great for him that Dustin 3-putted because he can quest a realistic Grand Slam, because at these type of current courses, I don't think it works for him. But for I would like to probably bet 2 of these 4, and it's Dustin, Brooks, Bryson, Rory. Now I say that order isn't how I have it, because my order is probably Bryson, Brooks, Rory, like neck and neck, and then Dustin. Because I don't know, everything. It just seems like I guess whether it's Dustin or Brooks, you can blind bet them at US Opens and feel confident doing. My bets will be big. They'll be big for golf bets because they're short numbers and it's major championships. So I overexpose myself. So I'm not ready to like rush that decision until I'm ready. But I don't have like the confidence in the decision in years past.
It's tough to construct a card this way, because if you're going to go with 2 guys right around 20-1 as we get to the rest of my picks, then you can't really take anyone in that mid-range. But as you kind of pointed out, like there's been a very typical profile of player for the past 5 US Opens that have found their way to the top. Woodland is an outlier in terms of the odds, but he's exactly the same sort of skill set, and the rest of his game kind of came around that 1 week. But his overall profile is the type of player that you're looking for.
He putted and chipped like Spieth with that profile.
Exactly. Like you want to, I thought it was maybe because there's so much made about what Bryson did at Winged Foot last year, where he was just where so few people were able to hit fairways anyway. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to hit as far as I can. If everyone's going to be in the rough, I'm just going to be much closer to the hole than everyone else and make my approach shots easier. And he putted well, he chipped well, but it was the driving that really put him apart. When Brooks won, he's top 10 in driving for those weeks. Woodland, top 10 in driving. And I'm not talking about off the tee. I'm talking about strokes gained off the tee. I'm talking about driving distance gained against the field that week. Because I went back and looked at Pebble Beach, and I spelled this out in my column and on Sunday's research show, that even at a shorter US Open, like Pebble Beach, driving distance gained on the field was still the key element because these fairways are so narrow. And I don't think that the USGA is going to change it up all that much this year. You can expect thinner fairways than you're used to at the Farmers. It's going to be a completely different setup than the Farmers. Maybe you get lucky because this time of year, the Kikuyu grass at Torrey Pines could give you some elevated shots in the rough if you're lucky. But if it's buried, you're absolutely screwed. So you still want to be as close to the hole as possible. For me, with any of my picks this week, if you're not going to be able to gain on the field by a pretty comfortable margin in terms of driving distance, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, I love Webb Simpson this week. I love Tyrrell Hatton this week. I love Jordan Spieth this week. But their path to winning this event is just so much more difficult than the guys that hit it 330 off the tee. It just is at this specific event.
You are 100% right. As you sort of said, okay, the USGA is giving us a profile and they literally are telling us, keep it simple. Like, keep it simple. Like, don't overthink these events. The best players are winning them. The outlier has to still have that skill and putt like Spieth. The one concern I do have, Pat, is I don't know whether they're just telling these shorter hitters to like glad hand them in the lead up to the event. But now there's these rumors of the gradual rough.
No, hold on. This came from
Tesori and Tour Junkies.
Yeah, Tesori was talking to David and Pat on the Tour Junkies podcast that there were potential rumors that what they were going to do is stagger the rough, that it would be longer the closer you got to the green. But that's not actually going to happen.
Okay, good. I assume like they can't do, like, my first reaction is they can't do that. Like, literally, I think I said it out loud, like reading people talking about it.
I think that they can do it, and we might see that in coming years. And I do think it's a good way to combat what we're talking about and kind of how Bryson, he didn't break the U.S. Open. He still played fantastically compared to everyone else. Like, it's a bit of a misnomer. Just his strategy was so much better than everyone else's. Matthew Wolff used the exact same strategy, and that's why he came in second at that U.S. Open. The difference was Bryson was able to get it up and down and make those 10-foot putts when needed. You still need the rest of your game. If not, Cameron Champ is going to win the U.S. Open, which he is not going to win the U.S. Open because the rest of his game is just so horrible. Although he does have Spieth-type putting weeks like once a year.
I mean, here's the thing. I forgot what I wanted to say.
Anyway, I'm not worried about the gradual rough until the USGA proves that it's going to be something different. Why would I deviate what my strategy is going to be for the U.S. Open? Like, if it turns
Bryson
out,
was still just 6 under. Like, and he was the only player under par for the tournament.
6 shots. Like, that 6 under is an impressive performance considering no other player was under par.
No, I'm not trying, but I'm saying, like, to me, that's a totally fine winning score for the U.S. Open. To me, that still shows me what we believe the integrity of the U.S. Open is about, like, is still exists. You know, other than when Aaron Hills, they went and the wind never blew and Brooks put up that crazy number, like, it's always plausible to me that one of these really great players is going to play really great and they can shoot, like, do what Rory did in the U.S. Open or what Bryson did. So when one guy breaks it, like, I don't think anything was wrong or broken with what they tried to do. And I'm just surprised to see this close to the event that there's rumors they're going to try to do it again. To me, that's just sort of like the guys, the organizers, don't want to have the annoying conversations with those players like weeks out. They're like, once we do it, like, we'll deal with them. We don't need, like, we'll just tell them what they want to hear now. Your Webb Simpson types, no offense, great player, but you're right, it doesn't really work for them. And then once we get to the week of, we'll just be like, yeah, we couldn't do it. We decided we couldn't do that. Like, we can't do that.
I think
not this year.
I think you'll eventually see that come in. Like, the biggest thing is it's not that they're glad handing them. It's just with the way that the setup is now, it's such an advantage to hit it far off the tee that it gives some of these other guys, I don't want to say no chance, because you can putt and chip and hit your irons as well. Like someone like Morikawa, for instance, is sort of like, when you think back historically to the prototypical U.S. Open type player, you want someone who's very good off the tee, maybe not the longest, but they're going to hit every single one of the fairways. And then they're a great long iron player. And if they make their putts that week, then they're going to be excellent. That's Morikawa's path to winning. That's Corey Connors' path to winning. That's Tyrrell Hatton's, and that's Webb Simpson's. But with the way that it's structured right now, hitting fairways is just so difficult that even the most accurate of players aren't hitting them over half the time. So really, what's the difference? Yeah. And until that gets rectified, you're going to see the Bombers continue to dominate. And that's why those were the 3 players, Brooks, Bryson, and Rory. Now, obviously, the odds are factored in that. Recent form is factored in that. Like, I don't think there's a huge separation between those guys. And Rahm.
Why does DJ not make that list for you, other than Tim?
I mean, I prefer, because he's not playing well.
Okay.
Do you think
do we trust Rory's driver?
Okay, here's the big misnomer about Rory's driver. Everyone's like, Rory's driver sucks. Okay, no, you tell me what you think about Rory's driver right now.
I don't think it sucks. I just think it's his best asset, and I need him to have it when I'm betting on him. That being said, when I make a bet here, I'm betting on your ceiling. And I'm taking the 20, maybe because people think that your driver is off a little at a premium driving event. But yeah, if only the best drivers are hitting it 50% of the time, I guess giddy up, give it to me. I'm ready to talk through it, because Rory's been the one that's been staring at me the longest at this moment, I'll tell you.
What you're saying isn't wrong that his driver is off. It's off for Rory. He's not gaining the most strokes off the tee of any player. And you're right, that is his bread and butter. It's been kind of a flip where he was struggling with his irons, being very pedestrian with his irons. He's now, I mean, over his past 3 events, including his win, including Memorial, including the PGA Championship, he's been over 4 strokes gained on the field with his approach shots, which is new for him. Like, that's peak Rory. When it's just the driver has dropped off to slightly above average rather than being best in the field. So it's not like it's killing him. He's actually better than in the field off the tee. He's just not gaining 5 strokes off the tee like you would expect him to do if he's going to win one of these events. But I do feel like he can figure that part out. It's the iron part that I thought that, it's so hit or miss with him, but now he's putting together consistent tournaments of great approach shots that he just needs to get it all onto the same page, like it happened at the Wells Fargo. Then all of a sudden he's your winner.
Yeah, that's very well said. Thank you for sort of reining me in back. Like, no, Rory is driving it fine. It's just like Rory. But guess what? Rory, you're paying 13-1 for.
Yeah,
like,
you're
I guess.
DraftKings,
And that's what he was a month ago at the other major. So I'm ready to probably do this at 20. We've talked about the driving, Pat. The other main thing for me is I want positive Poana green experience. I do think it matters. It's hard when you look at these past winners at the Farmers Insurance Open. They're all really class players. You could argue Leishman is the Woodland of the group, but he putted like Spieth. So he won on the weekend. Like, that's, I guess, what he had to do to maintain it. But the one thing, because their stats, you go to events like Memorial, it's like the guys that win at Memorial, it seems like their stats, their approach stats, like it's the same sort of recipe every year. The Torrey Pines recipe, you look at how they won, it's all kind of different outside of incredible putting, pretty much. So so it's something you gotta have some positive vibe on these greens, in my opinion, to make it. And Rory has that. He's played really well at he's won on Riviera. He's won West Coast match plays. He's remember a few years ago, the year leading into his player of the year, he stopped going to the Middle East. He even declined the Irish Open to be like, I'm more of a full-time PGA player now. That's what I want to do. That's sort of what my goal is at this moment in time. And he stopped going to the Middle East, and he's gone to Torrey. And he's had great success. And I don't really want to overrate or underrate anyone's previous Farmers experiences. But if you want to bet someone at this number, you got to do it. Just like the people I'm sure are betting Xander can look at his second place a couple months ago and feel good about it. But I don't know. At 20-1, I'd rather bet Rory than Xander. I know that. And I'm looking at Rory hard. And I think that's the bet I'm going to make.
And if you're on DraftKings Sportsbook, you'll find Xander now at 15-1 and Rory at 21-1. So you're getting 6 more points, which is massive, especially with the amount that you have to wager if you're going to take it someone at the very top of the board. That odds discrepancy in itself just makes the decision really easy if it came down to Rory versus Xander in that circumstance. Rory didn't win Genesis, by the way. He lost to JB Holmes that year along with Justin Thomas. But looking at it right now, if you want to know the best per round players over the past 24 rounds on Poana greens, you're looking at Louis is number 1, Matt Kuchar, Bhatia, Rahm, Bryson, Patrick Rogers, Patrick Reed, Webb Simpson, Brian Stewart, Adam Hadwin, Stenson, Wyndham Clark, Justin Jimmy Walker, Ian Poulter, Kevin Na, Max Homa, Bobby Mack, Mackenzie Hughes, Sam Burns, Matt Wallace, Zach Johnson, Kevin Streelman are your best putters per round. They're all at least 0.5 strokes gained per round on Poana greens over their past 24 appearances.
I think my card is going to, not so much the players, but the construction of it is going to look like Memorial. Just hit them hard, hit them near the top, and let's give her.
Well, what do you make of this next of the favorite range, though? Because you mentioned Finau, you grabbed a good number on him, but the lowest I've seen on him anywhere is 33 at this point. DraftKings has him at 22. He's going to be a popular pick, although Cust may have reversed all that. But in that 20 range, you have Rory, Cantlay, Finau, JT, Patrick Reed, Morikawa, Hovland. Those are all guys that can most definitely win this tournament. It's just funny to see the number next to Justin Thomas and not make that an auto bet. And it's not to say that his skill set can't win here, but I don't think that he has the right skill set to make this an easy path for him. So much will need to go right, and we just know how hard it is for everything to go right for him.
I'm just not there. And I guess the betting community has realized in at least the lead up wagers, people aren't there. They're not willing to bet him. I don't know that he has positive West Coast results, and I don't know that I trust him I mean, normally sometimes, Pat, you would say like a bad putter is like benefited by like the randomness sometimes of the POA greens, because it's going to also hurt like a real smooth putter. But I'm just not there. I guess there's a lot of groupthink going on with Justin Thomas. The fact that it's gotten to 25, like even I had to be like, whoa. But I am so not there that I really didn't even consider it. So that's like a weird feeling too. I saw 25 and he still didn't crack like the other guys that I'm like kind of really about here. And I don't know, I could start at 20 and just like pepper like 4 here. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I love, Reed. I try to find as big as I could on that. Me, like I'm always got my mind on Victor. So there's a lot of guys here. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be much farther. So this is where I'm happy to bet it. And if I'm wrong, then if I'm wrong, I'll take being wrong. I don't mean like not picking the winner, because to me, they're still like, trying to pick 3 or 4 of the 30 guys I think like can win. There still leaves 27 to be wrong about. The odds still aren't on my favor, but I do feel like I'll be right about where the winner comes from. And I don't, that's not a bold statement. And if the US Open gets me, then hey, it got me. This is one I'll be wrong on, but I'm not willing to deviate here. I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have the fun Lowry ticket you put out last week, and I have my Christmas Woodland. That is what it is, but I'm really just going to be tight.
So the best I found on Patrick Reed right now is a 35. Did you take that?
Very tempting. I'm worried I'm going to lose it, so I'm tempted to take it because I know where it is, and I've been looking at it this morning. And Victor's are 28s. And what? Cantley's at 25. I'm very tempted. I'm excited about a lot of these players, Pat, and I'm probably even forgetting someone. And I don't know. It's like any negative thing I say about Xander, I don't even want to say anything negative there. No, I just think the hype is.
But he's being priced. He's being priced like he's Dustin Johnson, because I'm looking at the odds. He's the same odds as Dustin Johnson. Like, he's not. Like, that's until he proves that he can win the major and be one of the most prolific players on tour, people will want to bet him. I get why his number is 15-1, but at the same time, it should be 25.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But the other part of it is like, people are telling me, no, it's just like Dustin Johnson before he won Oakmont. And I almost fall out of my chair. Like, I almost fall out of my chair when people think it's like that. Xander could very well win. The number suggests that, and we all agree he's good enough. And the past resume suggests like it's more if, it's more, it's more when than if. But Dustin would never go this long without winning. Are you kidding me? And Dustin's major, like, close finishes. Xander's got some real good runs, like second at Tiger, another second this year at this version of it. It's already to Hideki. Was he not like great runs? Second at Torrey Pines, so many runs at it, but it doesn't feel anything like it. Because I'll tell you why. If I ask like 100 of you who the best player in the world is, I don't think any of you would tell me it's Xander Schauffele. Before Oakmont, I think a lot of people, like, despite no major, might have still said Dustin Johnson. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not here with that. And I'll take the other guys at the same price. It's huge, and raw. I mean, we got 2 guys in some places 15-1 and under, never won majors, looking for their first. And in some ways, this might be unfair to say, but to me, Rahm profiles far more to like the DJ Oakmont, despite not having any close finishes or heartbreak like DJ. But like, I see Rahm being a long-standing world number 1. I see Xander being like really good, but potentially having like a career that's Patrick Cantley's.
I mean, Patrick Cantlay, I feel like, is just as live as Xander is here, and someone who plays excellent California golf. I mean, that's the other ROM part that we didn't really discuss. Just the amount of top 5 finishes that he has at California courses. Cantlay is very much the same way. Cantlay has 2 wins this season. He just won the Memorial thanks to John Rahm withdrawing. It's okay. I don't want to call it a half win because, hey.
But even if he comes in second, you'll feel great about him too. Like, let's say he came second to Rahm by a touchdown. You think Cantlay's in great form?
Oh, exactly. And we saw him play well at Pebble, putt well at Pebble earlier. We always liked him at Riviera, despite some mixed results. He made a run at the Amex earlier this year with a fantastic final round. Now, those two are a bit of shorter courses, but we don't worry about Cantlay off the tee as much. Like, I think that it's not that we need to like throw more respect onto Cantlay's name. It's just I think that Xander should be in the same category as Cantlay right now, like around that 25-1.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I totally agree with that. I feel like we've said that for a couple majors. Maybe they're trying to protect the placings on Xander. I mean, because they offer so many and he cashes placings at 50% in majors and he just missed a cut. So like odds, like probability says like he's guaranteed to T5 this one. And anything negative I say about Xander isn't about Xander. It's just Xander at the number. Yeah, people compared to the other 5 golfers.
Jeff, people are watching a betting show. They understand that. You hate Xander Schauffele.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But I've seen it today. Like I saw someone like post who I like on golf Twitter, Pat, post that they just made their 15-1 Xander bet.
I have no problem with that. If you think that Xander is going to win, bet on him to win. It doesn't really matter what the odds are. 15-1 is still a good number for a winner. It's just, I think value-wise and how I rate all the golfers next to each other, I just think I'm getting a better price on very similar guys with more of a track record, especially in these events. And Xander has top 6 finishes in every single U.S. Open he's ever been in. But if I can get Brooks for 3 points less, I mean, the guy's won 2 of the past 4.
Yeah. And just like I said, if I played like I said, had the bingo thing roll me out who I was going to pick, and it came of these like top 6-7 guys, and it said, no, you have to bet Xander, I wouldn't like frown about it.
Why are you so scared of like Xander Schauffele Twitter coming at you? Just say, I don't think he's going to win. I think his odds are bad.
No, I'm not going to bet him. No, that's not what I'm about.
You're hedging your way out of this and like backtrack. You're pulling a Cust.
No, that's not what I mean. Because I bet him at the PGA. And I bet him at Memorial. So like part of me is just like, I don't know, for peace of mind, just bet him again. But when I bet him at Memorial, I was like, I'm not going to stick with this. I just don't want to stick with it at the US Open. I'm not hedging about it. If he wins, I'm not surprised and I'd be happy. And guess what? If he won outside of like a bet, like if him or Rahm won, like I'm not betting them, but they would like the sight of them on 18 winning that major, balling, I would fucking love that. Like, that would get me off. So I got nothing. I'm not trying to hedge anything. I'm just trying to figure out the number, how it got here. And I don't know. People bet for places. I don't know. I'm just talking aloud. So if it comes off as me trying to hedge anything, I'm pretty documented in all my stances on this.
All right.
It is what it is.
We got to move to the next range. That's going to kick off with Scotty Scheffler at 35-1. Hatton, after a second place finish, ruined his number. It was up around like 30. It was up around, I think, like 60 at one point. But now it is obviously not. It's down to 40-1. Louis is 40-1. Answer and Casey and Lowry and Hideki and Zalatoris all at 45-1, 40-1, that range. Then you have Fitzpatrick, Berger, Harris English, Kokrak, all at 55-1. So that's your 30-60. I bet Lowry, but I bet him at 80. You can find a better Lowry number out there. I like Shane Lowry a lot. I don't know if I love him at 45-1 when you can find 70s and even 80s still lingering around. I just like what he brings to the table. He plays hard courses really well. He plays courses with narrow fairways really well. He is having his best approach run like ever in his career at the moment. We always know that he's going to be so good around the greens. He's putting well half the time, and he just led the PGA Championship in strokes gained off the tee. He's not as big of a bomber as some of the other guys that we talked about, but he's not short either. So I think that he has the perfect style of game to contend at U.S. Opens. He does have 2 top 10 finishes at U.S. Opens. And I mean, when you talk about Dustin and Oakmont, he was second that year. He was the 54-hole leader at that U.S. Open. Now, he's already broke through in a major. He has a WGC win, and he's just been lingering at every tournament he's been in lately. 3 top 10s in his past 4 starts. I'm in on Shane Lowry.
Yeah, you sold me last week, whether it was in personal correspondence or on the Palmetto show. Yeah, I don't know. I played the 80. I agree with a lot of that. There's a lot of interesting names in this area. I mean, Scheffler, he's been live at a lot of big events. I'm not here for this big moment this week, though. But I think if you get him maybe at some of the side at a more fair number with the placings, I don't mind that. In this range, there's guys that I've been betting at majors that have hurt me, be it Berger and Hatton. I don't think Berger's ever even made a cut here, Pat, in the Farmers. Now, I don't want to overrate.
I'm not too concerned about the Farmers. Like, this course is not going to resemble anything how this course plays at the end of January.
I totally understand that. I would only argue if you couldn't take on the beta version of it, how good are you going to be when you see the alpha of it?
I mean, go back to your most hated golfer in the world, Xander Schauffele. The guy couldn't make a cut at the Farmers until he comes in second.
Yeah, at the same version of it. If he didn't have that second place finish, I would be very worried because you're gonna always miss the cut in the beta. He turned it on in the beta right before he's got to play it on the alpha. So I don't think that makes the point. I do agree. I don't care to overrate or underrate any total pass performance, but never making a cut here and then skipping it. I don't know. He won shortly after at Pebble. You mentioned Louis and his Poa Green putting. I'm just not in this range, though.
How is it possible that the mic is in front of your face and you still can't talk into it?
Because I'm now staring at odds because I'm feeling like I'm going to forget a name. But there's no one here that's going to have my money. There's really big Hideki numbers I'm seeing. I feel like he's had some really nice Torrey Pines runs, but I don't know. Paul Casey even, Pat. Harding Park, I feel like we're getting 80, 100. He's got some great West Coast results. They're going to pull me back in on a 50. I don't know. I don't have the money. My money feels like it's allocated with how I want to script my card.
Yeah.
So I'm just not here.
Of guys in this range, I'm seeing different numbers. So Berger, Hatton, and Scheffler, you can still find at 50 in other places. You can find Webb Simpson. Actually, he's down at 60 anyway, but Scheffler at 50, Lowry at 60, Louis at 60, Casey at 65. Those are just better numbers. You can find the deeper numbers on some of these guys out there. And if you don't like a player's number in this range at this part of the week, if they're 40-1 or 45-1, even Louis at 60, obviously it's a much better number. But you'll see a lot of these books start drifting their odds once they start taking no action on a lot of these guys, because I think that most people will be in unison with Geoff and I and looking at the very top of the board. Those numbers will probably get worse as the week goes along, and this mid-range will continue to drift as we get to before Thursday. So just keep an eye on that. I want to move to 60-100. Did you see anyone in here that you don't hate that you might be chucking some of your money on?
Yeah, there's always guys in here because there's a lot of friends in this group, Pat. I would say when I did a Friday afternoon show, Jason Kokrak was 100. Now he's 75. But the way that he's just been striping it, I don't know. I wouldn't hate that, especially maybe if you want to be one of those people taking the advanced placings. Joakim Neiman and his driving distance is quite impressive, but I don't know if you can trust him for this big boy party just yet.
I like him. Put it this way. I would much prefer to play him on DraftKings than bet him outright to win the U.S. Open.
And, well, there's no Ricky Fowler, Pat. There is no Ricky Fowler. So I probably will be invested in some way at the Fleetwood 80s. I probably will. I am such a mutt, but I love the guy. And I think U.S. Open golf has historically worked for him.
I would say yes. I think the results prove that out. He's at 85-1 at the moment. Then you have like your Charlie Hoffmans. Higo is now in this range after his win at Palmetto. Connors, Woodland, we have money on at a bigger number. Would you bet the Woodland at 66? Because I would not.
No, I wouldn't bet that. But what is our number?
I believe it's 125. Let me just go pull it up here. Is it 125? It is Gary Woodland. Yeah, 125-1. That's better.
No, I don't know. That's my longest ranging U.S. Open bet. I didn't make your Palmer to go with that. He also, I mean, I guess you'll give the case for him shortly. I don't mind that though, because he was popping in a lot of things I was looking at.
Yeah, and if you want to believe into some Torrey Pines history, then Ryan Palmer is he's someone who tends to play well at Torrey Pines at the Farmers every single season. If it's a course where you really like John Rahm, Ryan Palmer tends to play well as the minor league version of John Rahm in these tournaments for whatever reason. We know that he's deep enough off the tee and he has complete flaws in his game. But when I saw him at 250-1 in December, I was like, I'm in. Like, why not? It's 250-1. Who cares?
Adam Scott.
Okay.
Do anything for you, Pat?
No. Does he do anything for you?
No, but I bet him in February, or was that February? Late January, he teased. He was like, he tickled the nuts a little bit.
Yeah, because he gained like 10 strokes putting through 3 rounds. Then he turned back into Adam Scott and came like 13th.
He's become sort of like Sergio in the majors post the win, though, eh? Like, other than maybe one blip, I think, was it a PGA championship? He's really just, I don't know, like Sergio. He's won that major and hasn't really performed at all in any of them.
How much money is Phil 66-1 getting from you?
If Phil Mickelson wins this tournament, like Ed Harris is controlling everything. Like that's where we are. That's where we are. There'll be no other explanation about it. I will dedicate the rest of my life to this conspiracy theory.
You'll be the new QAnon, but it only relates to golf?
Yeah, I can't even comprehend. I'm still trying to figure out the last one, as beautiful as it was. 50 years old, on paper, 7,800 yards. The guy's just magic. I'll give it to him. If it happens again, oh, baby.
I'm seeing like on DraftKings Sportsbook, answer is 45-1. In other places, he's down as low as 80. That's a more respectable number. The guy that really garners the most attention for me, and I can make I constantly make cases for Cameron Smith and Matthew Fitzpatrick. I'm not going to take them here. Although Fitzpatrick's probably a better lean because he's so much better off the tee than Cameron Smith is. Although Cameron Smith's scrambling game is just top notch. If he can ever figure out the driver, then we're going to be good to go with him. But I'll probably miss it this time around because his odds aren't all that great. It's Jason Kokrak. He just paid us out 2 weeks ago. Doesn't he have the perfect type of game for here? Yeah, the chipping can be a problem, but the putting has just been so good, and the ball striking is so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, like,
and he pounds it. Pounds it, and he's striking it, and he's putting. And I don't know why I like in hindsight, I wish so few players' numbers, Pat. We've spoken about it. Like so few players' numbers got worse. 2 that did were Lowry and Kokrak, like sort of in the last week. I mean, Kokrak just won, so maybe there's obvious reasons, but I'm not even talking about like after his win. Like I think the books reset his number after his win, and the hundreds that I was seeing at a lot of places still as I was doing a show on Friday are now gone. So it's been reset a couple times. I'm here. I am for it. Quickly back to the other names that you mentioned. If this course, if this winner, if this leaderboard does play a different way, like it is like it's you would suggest Fitz and Cam Smith are sort of the guys. Like obviously Reed might be like the elite version of the guy you want if it's going to play a different way or even this way because you trust Reed's moxie so much. But if it's going to be like a course, an event, and you don't want to bet on Morikawa at 22, like for you, it would be Fitzpatrick potentially.
I think that if the USGA flips and we don't see the bomber heavy, and maybe this is more of a DraftKings strategy if you want to do it, because that's not going to get my outright betting money. But if you want to construct a player pool of Spieth, Reed, Hatton, Webb, Cam Smith, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Answer, Connors, like that type of player, Morikawa would probably be a part of that list too, then you could really make a lot of money if things swung your way, because no one is thinking that.
Of course. I mean, that's picking the lane hard, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe potentially. I will say, depending on where you're looking, Pat, Charlie Hoffman, San Diego boy, like he's kind of right there with me with Jason and guys that I'm sort of, if you're making me pick someone close to triple digits, and I got someone just behind triple digits, but I think he could be popular.
Yeah, I like Charlie Hoffman enough. I don't see why he can't play well at this course. It's just something, putting Charlie Hoffman next to U.S. Open winner, just, you would have to give me such giant odds on that 80 to 1, 90 to 1, 100 to 1 just isn't really kicking it for me. If I'm going to bet on a guy like that, I want him to be 300 to 1. And then it's more just like, yeah, whatever. I'll take 3 guys from down there, throw $5 a piece on them and be on my way. Like, even at 90 to 1, like, it's a real bet you need to put on Charlie Hoffman. I amongst all of the guys in that range, like, I would still rather bet Justin Rose to win this specific event. Now, Charlie might beat Justin Rose in this event 7 times out of 10. But you ask me between them, which one's going to win? I would still think it's Justin Rose.
You are probably right. That's probably very well. That's probably very well said. And then when you're back in this range, thinking about throwing some shekels, just remember, like, how perfect, like you kind of said it off the top, even for like Hatton or Fitz, how perfect things will have to go for them to, like, if the USGA does what it's been doing, to hold their own. And if you want to know how perfect, just close your eyes and think of Gary Woodland. Like, you're just going to have to be perfect, because he nearly freaking was.
Let's go.
That's what it took.
To the bomb range, above 100 to 1. I got some plays from down here, so I'll run through who I like so far that I have wagered money on, and we can kind of backtrack from there. So from November, Gary Woodland at 125 to 1, Ryan Palmer with the each way at 250 to 1. I played Taylor Pendrith at 500 to 1 with a top 8 each way. I played Wyndham Clark 750 to 1 with a top 8 each way. And I actually did play a very, seriously, I think that Matt Wallace can win this, and I bet him at 150 to 1 with that top 8 placings as well. I like Matt Wallace this week.
I always like Matt Wallace, and on these long, extra hard courses, this is where you kind of want your money on Matt Wallace. And in sort of having some work I'll have to do, and, just pick, give me a over 100 winner. Matt Wallace would be a guy I'd be looking at, and just over 100, Pat. I mean, just looking at him versus the other guys in the range, it still feels like a huge ask. But if you really look closely and break it down, man, Max Homa just keeps showing up. 110 to 1, man. Just keeps showing up. Win at Riviera. Loves classical golf courses. This is, by many standards, by many still consider it a classical layout. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a big number. Like him. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, though, but if I got to find over 100 to 1, Homa and Wallace before getting too crazy, because I'm about Pendrith.
Yeah, we're Canadian. We're all about Pendrith. Just be low Canadian at plus 650 and we'll be good to go, Pendrith. He is 2 for 2 in U.S. Open cuts made, so that's at least a positive, considering he doesn't play on the PGA Tour. The two guys, actually, there's 3 of them right around this 100 to 1 range that I like. They probably won't get my money, but I think you can make really compelling cases for all 3 of them. One was Homa. The second one would be Sam Burns. And the third one would be Carlos Ortiz.
Oh, yeah, Ortiz. Yeah, yeah.
They all bring different things to the table, but like you said, classical courses, and Burns was so close both at Torrey Pines and Riviera where he lost to Homa, but they all just bring the driving distance that you want to see here. They're not short players, and that's just going to be such an advantage versus Ian Poulter and Hell, even Adam Hadwin and Troy Merritt and Molinari. Molinari, who has a great Torrey Pines record, by the way, is like 200-1. But versus those guys in this area, like the Todd father is 140-1. Bezadenhout is 140-1. Matt Wallace is in that same range. Like the weird guy who's down here that I found surprising is Sung Jae. Is this too much hate for Sung Jae? Like, should he be paired with Homa? Should he be paired with Sam Burns? Is that the range that he's in? Because we always thought of him as, you know, 2 ranges up in terms of skill, and that's where we had been betting him. But just his performance lately, he's dropped down to that tier, hasn't he?
Yeah, his performance lately, it's been incredibly inconsistent. Does he have any positive West Coast experiences?
I don't feel like he plays all that much on the West Coast.
I mean, listen, the guy showed up 2 years ago at dozens of tracks he'd probably never played before and played freaking amazing, including the goddamn Augusta. So seeing his name pop would never surprise me. I'm not there. I guess it just shows, you know, these books. I don't think they're just moving numbers on like a guy's opinion. Like they see like nothing coming in.
He did gain 5.2 strokes on approach at Palmetto after a disastrous first round. He rallied himself back. He was 32nd at Farmers earlier this year. He was 12th at the Amex, also in California. The year before that, he missed the cut at the Genesis, 36th at the Farmers, 10th at the American Express. So he's not a disaster on the West Coast by any means.
Yeah, no, and I didn't mean to portray it. I was wondering if he ever even, you know, just what was there.
Yeah, he's actually never missed a cut at the Farmers Insurance Open.
Does his DraftKings number like reflect a 66-1 bet player?
I don't think so. I don't know what he is on DraftKings. I'm just looking at the odds right now. He's 110-1. Hey, $7,600.
That's like the same as Kokrak, right?
Kokrak and Lowry are essentially the same price. So they're better odds versus price than Sung Jae is. Right?
And they're going to be way more owned than Sung Jae.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like if you you trust the ceiling, play the ceiling. That's a big one. I'm tempted to say, like, who would I actually trust to win more, Homa or Sung Jae at this very moment?
I mean, Homa has more PGA Tour victories than Sung Jae Im does.
Yeah, and Homa, I mean, look at the PGA result, the Memorial result. Just a very, very like great run. Outside of like a really sloppy last hour on Friday at the Masters, like, I don't know, he's done much wrong, man. That guy.
Yeah, it's funny that we were in on him at the Masters, and he's just a very poor back nine to miss the cut from old Mr. Max Homa. Anyone else that you seek? I was talking to Skylar. Tom and Skylar will have the European Tour Picks and Bet show for the U.S. Open, and they were just talking about some Corn Ferry players too, because Sky's pretty well versed on the Corn Ferry Tour. He kept telling me, like, Cameron Young is a real player who
keep hearing that
just has two, because we're looking, man, remember how well Zalatoris played back in September at the U.S. Open? Like, I think Pendrith, who also played well at that U.S. Open, can be that guy, but Cameron Young might be the one. Like, this guy crushes it off the tees. 300-1. I mean, why not, right? Because I get the top 8 placements. That's better than betting the top 10. Like, the way that I kind of look at some of these bombs in terms of the placement points, and that's only if you have the each ways. So I get 1/5 of the top 8. So what's that? 1/5 of 300 is 60-1 to come inside the top 8. His top 10 number is going to be like 22-1. So even if I double my bet on the outright win, I still get a better number on the 8. I was trying to break this down last time for the PGA Championship of why I added some more longer shot outrights. It was actually just to play the top 8 because I was getting a better number on that versus what I could find for the top 10. So I might go in on him too. I might go in on Cameron Young as another guy. $10 on Cameron Young. With the each way pays $3,600. So if he just gets the each way, we're looking at a $600 win on the top 8 finish. Let's roll. I'm in.
I've been hearing only like really supreme things about this guy, Pat. And I don't want to like give Tim any credit, but he didn't go this far with his praise of Bobby Mack, but how alive do you think Bobby Mack could be this way? You mentioned you liked him as a top lefty. There are a lot of ways I'm looking to invest potentially in Bobby Mack now that I'm staring a little farther at this board.
I think that he's a really nice fit. We've now seen him play well at the Masters. He played well at the PGA Championship. We know he has the distance off the tee. I just don't know if the experience level is going to be there, but hell, man, we just saw Higo go back-to-back at 2 jabroni events on the Canary Islands, and he comes over to the PGA Tour and wins. And Bobby Mack has won better events, or has won a better event than Higo has on the European Tour, and we've seen him play well at premier events in America now, too. I don't see why it's so crazy.
The 200-1 with the extreme placings...
It reminds me of that year that we bet Luke List at the PGA Championship under the same guys, 200-1, where his top 8 finish. No, sorry, it was his top 8 finish was going to pay out 50-1, and he hit it. It's the right type of skill set for the right type of course. I think that he fits well here.
Yeah, if you want me to find an each way that's going to pay out more than the guy who's going to win the tournament at 14-1. Bobby Mack might be my like go to the wall pick there, Pat. So,
what about your boy Wilco? That guy fucking crushes it off the tee. Wilco.
That was awesome to see any part of. That is so cool. Credit to all. I don't know, this whole little South African crew between Higo and I don't know how old Bez is, but great vibes for South Africa. Maybe some new decisions for President's Cup. Maybe I'm going a little far with Wilco there, but Higo and Bez, I don't know how that point system works, but holy bejesus. Your boy, West Coast, Siwoo Kim.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's a given. That Kim is going to get my money at some point. Like, I just got to figure out the best way to invest the Siwoo money. So when he shoots plus 1,000 on Thursday, that I'm not too crippled by it.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that last event, he'd been pretty consistent in like not just being great or being horrible. But he kind of had his moment. But I don't know. I could be sneaky. I think people will still like be I don't know. I think he could be a nice little DraftKings play for me also.
Oh yeah,
I think people are.
Do you know who I think that people would have been really on if the bomber narrative is really taken over this week? Everyone is talking about it. It's not exclusive to this show. But Brennan Grace, for the form that he has right now at his deeper odds, I know that he's not a bomber, and I think that's what's steering people away from him. But we've seen him play well at really hard courses in the past.
No, I mean, I can only agree with that sentiment. Get lucky. We saw Chambers Bay played a little different, right? I mean, it was him, Spieth, DJ down the stretch.
Hey, this is going to be in the newsletter on Monday evening. I've already started writing it. And I went back and actually looked at Chambers Bay to see if the bomber narrative actually applied. And it did outside of Spieth. Like, if you go look at the rest of the top 10 on the leaderboard from Chambers Bay, it's all guys who gained a bunch of strokes driving.
Outside of Dustin's 3-putt and Tiger trying to quiet a train, my takeaway from that goddamn tournament is the amount of times Spieth was like 30 feet away from the hole, but the putt or whatever the stroke ended with his goddamn hand in the air, club in the air, did it again. I already spoke to you at the top of how I was found after that one. That's the weird thing about this stupid game, Pat. Like, why should the losses always hurt more than the wins? I mean, that's a sign to just, like, it's not good. But I have it in a good place. But, like, gotta, like, just not care about that loss. Just bother me.
You really let the
incident with Kuchar.
You let the losses affect you much harder than I do. I really just let it brush off.
Most of the time, I'm good at it. I think lately I have been, but the major ones I think stick with me. I guess. I don't know. That's why, like, I couldn't, like, anyone wonders why, like, I was so freaking, like, in this Spieth vortex of, like, get out of my life. It was probably because of that and the Kuchar stuff.
Yeah, the Kuchar stuff was brutal. I hedged out of that, though, during that time frame when Kuchar was then the favorite. And that's why it wasn't so devastating for me.
He's not really being talked about this week, though, is he, Spieth? I mean, I'm
Not at
jumping
all.
back to the top. Or
No,
is he? I don't know.
He's not. I think that he actually makes a really nice DraftKings play. But if he's going to be the same price as Bryson and Brooks and everyone else at the top, like those guys are going to get my money over Spieth as an outright win. But that doesn't mean that Spieth can't win, like you kind of said. Like I think if he is going to be so incredibly unpopular, he has magic beans, man. He's like Patrick Reed. Like put Patrick Reed at a long, hard course where he doesn't fit whatsoever. He'll go out and win. Like there's only a few guys on the planet who are like that, and Reed and Spieth are, maybe two of the three.
Yeah. Well, Keimer doesn't have it anymore, but he used to be the captain of that.
Yeah, he was the king of it.
He was the king of it. No, you're absolutely right. And am I wrong to say this is kind of where it started? Like this, like, holy shit. Like when he did it at Torrey, it was like, okay, is he back? And then he has a great pebble and he played really well at Phoenix. You're like, okay, now he's like stacking events. So like, I'm going to give it to him. Then he wins and he's just consistently great. But Torrey was sort of like the first moment in 2020 where we had to like sit up in our chairs and be like, it could be happening. And it happened. Other than winning a major, he's pretty much done everything you could want out of a season.
There's one more name that I think that we should discuss because it appears like he's playing and he's 250 to 1. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't, but I put my devices away. Or
you don't need to go search it. I'm just asking you. I don't. You don't need to be looking at your phone.
I don't know. Can you give me like one more hint? And then you can tell me.
Sure. In 2020, he had finishes in majors of 4th and 2nd.
Oh, I know who it is. I saw that. He's right beside Bobby Mack.
Yeah.
At least it's something I was looking at.
Is it worth spending $10 to bet Matthew Wolff?
No, I'd rather bet Bobby Mack.
Are you sure?
You can bet both if you want, but no, I don't think you just find no. I mean, he's a winner. Maybe he is that guy that can win with no form. Like maybe if he did it again, we'd be like, no, he's now got to be this guy. You just ignore form because he could just show up with his golf clubs and contend in a major. I don't know, man. Like forgetting form. He's seen the guy swing a club. No, for me.
We have not seen him play since he and Morikawa missed the cut together at the Zurich. He withdrew from the PGA Championship. He got DQ'd at the Masters after signing an incorrect scorecard. He played one really good match at the match play, then was finito when he ended up losing to Spieth. But it strikes me that if he's okay, then this is a horribly mispriced number, because if he was okay, not even in great form, let's just say he was playing normal Matthew Wolff golf, he'd be like 60 to 1 right now.
Okay, I'm not making the comparison to these two players or their accomplishments, but this is like the extended version of this, like not taking Brooks at 50 at the PGA. Like, how are you just not taking it? Like it was Brooks at 50 at a goddamn major championship. Now, like this is an extreme version of it, but like it's Wolff, and yes, it's a hyper limited resume, but we know he's a winner. As 200, like you can make that case, and I'll be yelling, I'll be like going nuts on the Cut Sweat show when he's like T2, but I'm not betting it.
Okay. I might be able to get there. I just saw Ortiz is 200 to 1 at the placement book as well. That actually garners some interest, but I'll try to figure out top 20s, top 10s, more of that stuff as the week goes along, because there is one place in particular where you do want to play. Put it this way, if you're betting top 5s, top 10s, or top 20s, you want to be making those on Bovada and or Bodog, because they do not have dead heat rules. So even if there's 28 guys that tie for T19, you get your full payout on the top 20. Just keep that in mind. There's so much more value, even if you have to lose. If something is plus 800 on one site and it's plus 650 there, the 650 is a better number with those rules in place. Always read the rules of the dead heat placements anytime that you make a golf bet. You can vouch for that, can't you, Geoff?
Yeah, absolutely. Always read the rules. And then people reach out to us, be like, did the book screw me here? I'm like, no, they chopped it. Like, you had to explain it. But yeah, it makes sense. And there are books that kind of just don't chop it. And they'll just pay you out whole. And I don't know, man, sometimes in that T20, and guess what? T20 goes all the way back to like T29. That's what, like an extra 30% space.
instead of getting your bet chopped 9 ways and then it's worth less than what you actually even put in, because that's happened.
We didn't talk about the Palmetto, but Rasa did mention, just on that note, like, it didn't even dawn on me, like, we were on the cusp of a potential 7-man playoff or some shit.
I would have enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed that more. I would have had 3 guys in that playoff, including Hudson Swafford, Bo Van Pelt, and Tyrrell Hatton.
And I don't want to harp on anything because I'm sure majors will trigger us in and of itself. Did they not show any of Hatton like playing those final holes?
They showed him miss his putt on 18 after he flew the green. He missed it by like an inch. He had putts on the back 9. I believe he had 6 birdie putts from inside 15 feet, and he made 1 of them. He makes 1 more, he wins.
Yep.
So that was fun, as someone with Hatton money. Anyway, let's get to the quick picks for the U.S. Open. Obviously, later on in the week, I'm going to have my final betting card. Subscribe to the newsletter in order to find that. You can also find it up on Twitter as well. When I put in, I might even do first round leaders. But if there's group betting, head-to-heads, top 20s, I can just tell you what I have right now on my card. So from February, all the future bets I have 3 of them. Shane Lowry, 80-1. Gary Woodland, 125-1. Ryan Palmer, 250-1. That's from the past 6 months. This week, I have Brooks Koepka at 18-1. Big bet for me. And I'm going to add probably either Bryson or Rory as a pair to go along with him. Those might be my only 2 bets from before 80-1. We'll see how the week ends up unfolding, but that's where I'm at right now. From beyond 100-1, Matt Wallace, 150-1. Who else do I got here? Wyndham Clark, 750-1. Taylor Pendrith, 500-1. And Cameron Young, 300-1. Those are all with the top 8 each ways. That's where I'm going. I might just be pushing my chips into the middle of the top of the board, Geoff.
Yeah, I totally feel that. Your big play is on BK.
Might be BK and Brooks. Gotta play the narrative street here.
BK and Brooks, same guy.
Well, one's Brooks, one's Brooksy. Oh, sorry, Bryson. Sorry, Brooksy and BK.
Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna be close. I'm going to pull the trigger on Rory McIlroy.
I might listen. If you want to talk me into Rory, and I think you've done a pretty good job on it, the odds are better than him on Bryson. Maybe I'll go Rory over Bryson. That's the coin flip decision I have to make.
But I can get Bryson at 8, just like you can get Brooks at 18. I can get Bryson at 18 with Rory at 20. As we sit here now, that's where I do think my brain is going to be. And I have Tony Finau at 40. So that wouldn't leave much left. It would allow me to either play a Hovland 30 I'm looking at or a Reed 35.
Well, I wouldn't even consider Finau as a part of your card. That's like a charitable donation. That's like a tax write-off at the end of the year. You can claim that, I think.
That is possible. And then, the Lowry 80, the Woodland 125, and I'm going to bet Matt Wallace and Bobbert Mack. So I don't know. I guess it's pretty cool, but I like being overexposed. Got some Kokrak money, some Cantley money, off a light exposure Palmetto. U.S. Open's my jam, so I put my chips in the middle. But much like Memorial, it seems like my numbers, like for my main picks, are going to be very similar. I'm going to play like 4 guys. Well, 2 guys like really hard and 2 more like medium hard, to be honest. And if I lose, I'm going to lose a lot. And if I win, I'm going to win a lot. That's how golf betting works.
To recap.
Well, no, because you can normally that's wrong. You should be able to do golf betting and not lose a lot of money. That's what makes golf betting like great. Although you can like not win for 2 months like me and you sometimes, and it ends up feeling like a lot of money. But
yeah, but then you win 2 weeks in a row, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and now I'm up money again. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait. U.S. Open, Torrey Pines. Personally, I love that place. It's the only major championship course I've ever played, and I see it, and so I have personal memories there. And of course, like everybody, the Tiger Woods memories are just ingrained in my mind forever. So that place is magic. La Jolla, California. love going there, visiting. Yeah, it's like really a neighbor to my heart. So that's what it's about.
To recap, who is Andercursed, if you missed the beginning of the show with Tim Andercust, Dustin Johnson, Stuart Sink. Who the hell was his other guy that he picked? Now I can't even remember. It wasn't Corey Connors.
Finau,
that's right. Tony Finau. Not only is he not going to win, he is also Andercursed to make sure that he doesn't win. So that's rough for him. He also said that Rahm, Rory, Xander, Connors, Streelman, and Phil Mickelson have no chance of winning.
Yeah, that's a long list. You could just make that card.
That's your DraftKings team?
Whatever. Or like your betting card. Xander, Rory, who else?
Rahm, Connors, Streelman, and Phil.
Oh, no, that's hard. You gotta. Sorry, I didn't realize he had wow. He really just called out those three guys like that.
That's what he does. Well,
and he's so bold. He's so bold, letting us know Streelman can't win.
Yeah,
but then when you say, but if you put that back at him, be like, "What are you talking about, man? Finished like 4th at the PGA." Like, well, okay.
Did you see him searching for credit on Higo winning on the weekend?
Okay, that was very embarrassing because all he did was say something that everyone who like watches this show and follows golf like already acknowledged like 2 months before he tweeted it. We like Higo, cool young player. He tweets it and he thinks like it's an original thought.
But he picked Harris English to win and then bailed on Harris English and picked Chesson Hadley to win when he was in the lead, but wanted credit for Higo winning.
He wanted credit for Higo winning because during the PGA Championship, he tweeted that he liked Higo, who then proceeded to have a horrible Saturday.
That is true. I totally forgot about that. Anyway, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Jeffrey, where can people find you this week?
At Fienberg17 on the Twitter. I'll be doing Wednesday night, Friday night on FTN Daily, Geoff Fienberg Show, and my odds checker videos. And that's where my main final cards will be posted. Outright and props. Prepare for overexposure.
I like it a lot. You can follow me at the PME on Twitter. I'll be giving away $500 worth of DraftKings Millionaire Maker tickets over there. In the newsletter, you can find the other giveaways for another $500. FantasyNational.com/Mayo gets you 20% off. I will be back on Tuesday with Rick Gaiman as we go player by player, breaking down the entire field at the U.S. Open. If you want early access to that show, it's going to be in the newsletter on Monday night before release on Tuesday. Then there's a live chat Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. So smash the like, sub to the channel, and be there if you got any questions. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience.
All right, bye, Tim.
I can't wait for football. Like, we're almost in July, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
but we got something else to do.
All right, gents. We will talk to you on Friday. Well,
All
I'll
right.
see you Thursday morning. I'll try to get there for. What time are you going to try to get there for?
Probably like 7.
All right. I'll try to shoot for around 7-ish. So.
You can find it this time?
Yes, I think so. Brad did the same thing I did yesterday.
Yeah, but he's a moron. You know that. You're comparing yourself to a guy who's 36 years old and can't read.
He also locked his keys in the trunk. I had to drive him home.
You also think a cell phone charger would explode your car, but I'm insane.
It could. It actually could. I read stories.
Tim, are you listening? Right. Are you listening to fake news again?
No, I don't think so. I got rattled. Somebody told me it happens, and then I Googled phones blowing up, and like there are people's stories of like their phones overheating, like catching fire.
Jeff, I played golf with Tim like a week ago, and he called me in a panic before our tee time that he couldn't find the place, and then he was just going to go home, and he was like 30 seconds away.
Well, just the Google Maps. This is why you shouldn't trust Google Maps. Google Maps is an unreliable. I kind of like it's an unreliable guide. It will steer you wrong sometimes. You cannot treat it like it's gospel.
So you couldn't like adapt on the fly?
No, because I didn't know where I was going, and I did the stupid thing, and I put my faith in a piece of technology, and that will always, always, always let you down in the end.
Listen, I shouldn't say anything.
Although I used Google Maps and screenshotted it to Tim, and it was correct. So,
well, I used your actual map, like I was driving around with a real map to get there.
I should say nothing because you have all that video of me before the show, so I can't really make fun of Tim for anything at this moment. I'll wait for other ones.
Good enough. All right, gents, we will talk to you soon.
bye.
Bye. Leave meeting.
I love that soccer on all day.
I do too. It's great that it's just on all day.
This is fan-fucking-tastic. I'm gonna stabilize this motherfucker. Oh, baby. And I can make this longer, I assume. Shoot this fucker out. Oh, fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna lock this. Can't lose this.
Got it.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the little stand has the weight to support this thing.
Yeah, like you screw it in the bottom.
So my thing now is how do I get I got a little too excited. I overcooked it.
Yeah, you can just there's two separate extensions, so you just want to like collapse those.
Yeah, but settle down, Fienberg. I'm getting a little too excited. Oh, I see what's going on here. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm a little rattled.
Why?
Like, I went the arm is too heavy for the stand, though. Does that make any sense?
It shouldn't be. What you have to do is at the very bottom, okay? You see, like, you know, the part where you screw it into the table? And it has this little, like, bone-looking lever?
But where does it screw into the table?
There should be a clip at the very bottom of it that has, like, you just kind of... it's
like a vise.
Yeah, it's like a vise. Here, can you hold up the entire arm to the camera, please?
You want me to turn more lights on?
No, just... what does the bottom of it look like?
Like that? What are we talking about?
Oh, that's strange.
That's different than mine.
Yeah, that's different than mine, too. Yeah, that should be weighted enough to hold it up. Is it not holding it up?
No. Do I need to get like a vise?
Or just put a book on
just put something on it, and it will keep it.
Oh, yeah. Genius, right? Little fix it. Okay,
Yeah.
Let me find one of my wife's like really heavy cookbooks or something.
Yeah, exactly. Some big hardcover book will do the trick.
I'm going to get a couple of them.
No, see, not insane person anymore. That has to go now.
Why does that have to go? You won the award.
Yeah, but now a lot of people are saying no. Jeff's one.
Oh, hold on. Outside of that one guy who wouldn't take any bets on it after he said it, who else said it?
People are saying it in general.
Give me someone else. Give me one other person.
I've seen it in the YouTube comments. People are saying, "Wow, Jeff's really taken over as most insane," which is fine. Like the baton is his.
We put it to a vote, and you garnered 75% of the vote.
It was like 65-35, so I wasn't that far off.
It wasn't 65-35. Now you're lying.
No, I'm not lying.
You're lying. Why do you have to lie like this?
I know what's up.
Just like you and your GIF plugins that you can't figure out.
I have no idea what that even means. Like that might, I recognize those words as English words, but I don't understand what they mean put together like that.
How is it that you're 89 years old? Like everyone else knows what we're talking about.
I just don't know what you mean by a GIF plugin. I know what GIFs are.
How do you not know what plugins are? You use computers.
I don't know. I never used one, I guess.
Oh my God.
How can I know these things? I'm not some techie.
This is pretty entry-level stuff.
We're off what time on Thursday again? 7 something?
7:30.
Okay. It's you and I and Jim. Anybody else?
And Paul.
Oh, and Paul. Sweet. I played there yesterday.
At Brunello?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
93.
Ah, that's what I was with Shane on last Friday.
And she is hitting booms?
Yeah. He shot 90. He played pretty well.
Yeah, I played poorly on the front and much better on the back, except I gas canned 18.
I also struggled on 18.
I hit it into those woods on the right by the rock wall.
I put it into the left.
No, that won't help. But yeah, well, Shane can hit a long ball.
Yeah, he put one out like 290 into a bunker. Like we were looking for it. I was like, well, it says the bunker's like 295 away. And we went and looked, and it was in the bunker. I was like, holy shit, you really got a hold of that.
Yeah, his putting's not great, but he can hit a bomb. With just you two, you?
Yeah. We were paired up with two guys on the front, and then we played by ourselves on the back.
Is this like a good fix?
What do you mean?
Oh, you can't. I mean, I gotta alter my camera.
Now you're too close to the camera, as it turns out. Like it's just your head in the screen.
I'm too close to my camera.
Yeah, you're not even pushed in yet, are you, Paul? No, it has nothing to do with like moving it up and down. Like you're now literally too close to it.
Like you're zoomed in too much.
Yeah, but it's not.
But
it wasn't like that. I don't know why it's so close now.
Maybe I. Oh.
Yeah, are you using different settings? Because there's also like a Logitech burn on the bottom, which we've never seen before.
Well, that's the only way it would let me. See, now it's not letting me use the Logitech. It says cannot start video, failed to start the video from Zoom.
You want to try to unplug it and plug it back in?
Sounds simple enough. That's a bit of a crawl job for me, but 1 second.
Remember when I asked you last week if Higo had value at +1 at 125 to 1?
Yeah, I mean he didn't because he went off at 50 to 1. That would have been the better bet.
Would have been better at 125 to 1.
Yeah, but there was no value on that bet, hence why no one bet it. And
no,
that's
for
why
the Open, not this week. Or not for last week, for the Open.
Oh, for the U.S. Open?
Yeah, he was 125 to 1 when I texted you about him.
Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't bet him at 125 to 1, so.
No, you don't think so? Now that his odds are 60, so if someone gave you 125 to 1, you wouldn't take it?
No. He should be like 200 to 1, 250 to 1.
It's Higo.
Sure, Higo has better odds than Neiman now, and Fleetwood and Leishman, who's won at this
Well,
course.
he just won. And as you said to me anyway, D-Gens love betting him, so D-Gens must have got rich.
A lot of people hit him last week.
So that will just encourage them to make more bets on him?
Yeah, I mean, it's all one money at this point. Why not?
I am so.
Why was he playing with the settings to begin with?
I wasn't. I don't know what happened. And
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Cannot start video. Failed to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in the fucking settings.
Well, what are the other video cameras that you can choose from?
It's like my camera webcam.
Oh. Oh, there we go. You got it. I think you got it now.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And we can see the backgrounds much better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can change the camera. You can zoom me in. I need to take a piss and get a drink of water. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Like I arrived at a tea time like last second, and I'm always like to be early. And I like duffed like 6 shots on the first hole. My heart was racing, and I feel like that right now. I don't want to duff the show. So
Goal
for who?
Czech Republic.
No, I need Scotland to advance out of this group.
But I think I'm finally figured it out. So 2-3 minutes.
We're all good. We're good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna go make myself a coffee. How about that? You okay?
Hi.
Do you just want to zoom him out a little bit, Paul? That's the max you can zoom out? That's strange.
I can move back. What do you want?
Yeah, just move back a little bit.
So I'm gonna have to just. Oh wait.
Oh boy.
You had the shot a few seconds ago, just the way you would have wanted it.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like it converted back over, right?
Move the mic a little, so I gotta readjust the weights. I don't really know. I didn't change.
Yeah, doesn't it seem like
anything.
it's zoomed in, Paul? From what he had it at before? I'm not saying from our end. I'm just saying like that's what it looks like.
I don't think so, no.
All right, just sit how you're gonna sit, Geoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, your head's cut off is the thing.
The mic, yeah.
Oh, now you're like, now you have too much headroom.
I can't adjust.
Yeah, we yeah. That's
You want me to stop touching it, right? Sorry.
Yeah, that works, doesn't it, Paul? That works. Good.
Sorry, but what is the problem? That like I'm too close?
Yeah, it's too zoomed in now, which is weird. Because before it was such a wide shot, but now it's not. Oh God. Oh, now your video's gone.
Coming back. Oh my God. What the fuck?
What? Okay, you're back. Just leave it like this.
Yeah. This reminds me of nothing. I don't know. That's really weird because I didn't change anything.
Experience!